Hello to all the rain partners out there. This is Byron Belka, and I'm excited to take a few minutes and share with you another important aspect of the rain cycle, and that is the result. Now, each part of these uh, things that we go through in the rain cycle build upon each other. It's almost like stepping stones. You go from one to the next, to the next, to the next. Before this, it was the message. Now we've shared this opportunity with people, and we want to help them get to a point where they can make a decision. Now, I like no's. I like yeses even better, but it's the maybes that waste everybody's time. So this part of the rain cycle, what we're trying to do is just help people get to that point, whether it's yes or no, because time is our most valuable commodity. We don't have time to waste. We need to find those people that want to be a part of it, that see it for what it is, either want to be a customer and try this product, which I believe everybody should, or join us in and follow what we're doing to help share this opportunity in this seed-based nutrition product with the world. That's what we want. We want to get people there. And a lot of times people get nervous because they feel that if somebody has a concern or they have a question, that it's a negative thing. It's actually not a negative thing. And as we talk about this result, I want you to realize that this part in this process, it means that they're just thinking about it. You know, a lot of times if I've shared something with somebody and they don't have any questions, I wonder if they really were paying attention, or I wonder even if they join, if they're going to leave as quick as they came. How serious are they about this? If somebody has a question and a concern, it means they're actually evaluating it in their mind. They're thinking about it. And so don't be afraid of questions or concerns. What I want to do is talk about some key things and some simple things that you can do when these questions or concerns come up to help people get to the end result. And that is either joining us or not. All right. We don't need everybody. And that's the beautiful thing. We don't need everybody. We want the people who get it. We want the people who see it, because if we have to talk anybody into doing it, then you know what else we have to do? We have to talk them into doing everything else. We have to talk them into getting trained and getting on auto ship and taking the product and coming to this and doing that. Too much time and energy. We don't have time. We don't have the energy, or we shouldn't waste the energy into that. So these things are going to give you confidence as well as the other parts of the rain cycle, because you know what to expect and you know what to do. Now, there's three main questions that I usually ask if somebody has a concern. And the first thing is if somebody says, this product is too much, for example. You say, well, how do you mean exactly? Obviously, you have a good reason for saying that. Do you mind if I ask what it is? That's question 1 and 2. And they can say, well, I can go to the store and I can buy this, or I can buy that supplement or whatever. It seems like it's a lot cheaper. Well, first and foremost, we want to make sure that these people are comparing apples to apples, because there's nothing like what we have in our products. You can't find what we have anywhere. But if I just go out and say that, if I say you can't find what we have anywhere, then you know what? Those walls can go up. They can put up that defense like I'm attacking them. I don't want to attack people. So what I want to do is I want to use a third-party experience. I want to use somebody else, the feel, felt, found method, because coming from a third-party source or from somebody else, or a story about somebody else, those walls don't come up as if I was just attacking them. I said, you know what? I know how you feel. I know there's other people that have felt the same way, but what they found was if you try to go to a health food store and get what we have, you can't even find it. In fact, if you try to do what we've done, it's going to cost a lot more. Not even to mention, I've had some people that have tried to go out and get the 8 to 10 servings of fruits and 8 to 10 servings of vegetables and 2 to 3 servings of healthy fats. It's a lot more expensive than just a packet of salt. Way more. And so I understand what you're saying here, but I really want you to see what's going on and what the value is here, because that's what it always is, folks. Remember, there's no such thing as arguing price. I never argue price, because it's never about money. Even if somebody says it's about money, it's never about money, ever. It's always a perception of perceived value. I know that if somebody thinks the largest kit's too expensive or whatever, it's because I haven't created the value in their minds. In their minds, if the price is at a certain place and the value in their minds is higher than the price, then they'll do it every time. But if the price is higher than the value, that's when the problems come up. So anytime somebody says, that the price of this or that is too expensive, first off, compared to what, guys? Compared to what? There's nothing to compare it to. And then secondly, it's not about that to begin with. If I told somebody that, I've got this amazing car out front, one of their favorite cars, and if they get me $1,000 cash in 15 minutes or even a half an hour, it's theirs, they will get it. They will get it because the value in their mind is so high. It's so much higher than that $1,000 that they, without thinking, will do it. So when you ever have this come up, just remember, let's look at ourselves. What am I doing to not create the value so that they're not seeing what this really is? Because if they understood, there would be no question on that. So just to kind of give you an example here, if somebody else were to say, everything sounds good, but I just don't have time. You see, how do you mean exactly? I'm sure you have a good reason for saying that. Do you mind if I ask what it is? And then Sue says, with work and school, I barely have time to sit down and eat dinner with my kids and my family. And once again, don't come out and attack them. You say, I understand how you feel. Use somebody else's experience. They felt the same way, but what they found is they just used their time differently. Instead of listening to the radio or watching TV or doing this, they spent consistent effort in building this business. And now because of that, it's allowed them to eat more with their family, to spend more time with their family because they have time freedom. Okay, you always want to turn a question or a concern into a benefit. How is that problem? Well, if even if it's price, even if it's this time, you name it, turn it into a benefit, because that's why they need to be doing this. But you can't just come out and say, and that's why you need to do it. Well, I don't have any money. Well, that's exactly why you need to do it. I mean, that's in a roundabout way where we want to get, turn it into a benefit. But you can't just come out there and say it, or once again, we're in an attacking mode. So the third party validation is key. And that's why, the feel, felt, found is so powerful. But what's even more powerful than that is if you can actually get somebody in that situation to say that. We talk about third party validation all the time, and you think that you need to just use your upline or the person that sponsored you. You can use people in other team, your sideline. I would always use my downline. I'd always use the people in my team and organization more than anybody, because there were people in the same situation as maybe somebody I was talking to. A prospect that was saying that they didn't have the money, I get them on the phone with another person of mine that said they didn't have the money, and they can share their experience and how that's changed their life. Okay, now that's where the real power comes in, when we're going out there and we're able to get to this result. All right. So just remember that as you go out there, just have confidence when you're sharing this with people. When you get to that point where it's your turn to share the message, because remember your role. You don't present to your own people. Remember your role. When you get to the point where you're presenting to other people's people, just do it with confidence. Realize that, those people that understand what we have and where we're going, these are the people that are going to have huge success in this business from all aspects. And if you look at anybody in this industry that have 5, 6, 7-figure annual incomes, you can't tell me that they're not as confident as can be about what they're doing. Hey, it's just a fact. Success leaves clues. You just need to decide that you will be successful. Decide that you want to do it. Commit to doing it. Commit this is where you're going, and you're going to the top with or without people. And they're going to feel that. People want to follow somebody who knows where they're going. So one of the most important people that you need to sponsor in this business ever is you. Okay? Because if you're sponsored here and you're really here and you're sold yourself, guys, there's no stopping. It's not a question of if it's going to happen. If you're going to be a diamond and a black rain diamond and hit these, it's not a question of if. It's just a matter of when. When are you going to get there? Now realize that there's 3 types of people. And as we talk about this on all the other tools that we utilize in the videos, the in-home videos, that kind of points these things out. People are going to fall into one of these 3 categories. So we utilize the tools to try to help set this up. But even if you're doing a 2-on-1 presentation, you can let people know there's really 3 types of people that get involved with this. There's a customer, somebody that wants to try the product. Now let me tell you the benefits of being a preferred customer. A preferred customer can get a discount if they go on auto ship and all those types of things, which obviously they're not contractually bound to, but they can get the product cheaper. You share that with them. Just talk about the small business. We have people that want to go out there and just make an extra couple $100 a month. Get to a point where their gas is covered, some groceries are covered. That's going to make a big difference in a lot of people's lives. And then we have the big business builder, somebody that wants to spend a lot of time doing this, and their goal is to totally replace their income, double, triple, quadruple, you name it. Their goal is big. So I just let them know these are the 3 types of people we run into. What category would you put yourself in? Let them tell you. You let them do it. But one of the things that we do a lot of times is one of our biggest mistakes is we just leave everything open-ended. We don't tie it down. Okay. And what I mean by tying it down is just getting that commitment. We want to know where they're at. What are they? Are they interested? Are they not interested? It's not going to hurt my feelings if they're not. Okay. But are they interested or not? That's really what we're looking into to seeing here. So as you can see, one of the things that I like to do, that I'm keen in doing, is I like to ask people, even if they have an objection, like, oh, I need to talk to my spouse, or this, or I need to know more about the compensation plan, or I want to try the product, or whatever it is. I'm going to do a couple of things. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to say, just suppose. That's one of my favorite statements. Just suppose. Okay. And the reason it's one of my favorite statements is because, once again, it's non-threatening. I'm not saying, oh, yes, it is. Like my dad can beat up your dad, that type of a thing. If somebody says, I just want to know more about the product and learn more about the science, and I say, well, let's just suppose that you get all the information that you need and everything that we're telling you, you can validate yourself. Let's just suppose that happens. Will you join us? Okay. And the reason I do that is because I'm trying to get that commitment out of them. So I know, am I wasting my time or not? If they tell me, yeah, if I get all the information, which I know is true and correct, because the product, you can Google any one of the ingredients, go to PubMed, we know what we have. So I'm confident that if they do their due diligence, and I'm going to help them with that they're going to now join, because they've already told me that. Another thing that I'm going to do, just so they don't have any more objections, a lot of times I'll ask, if they say that same question, like, well, I just want to know more about the product, I say, well, besides that, is there anything else holding you back from doing this? And if they give me another excuse, well, besides that, is there anything else holding you back from doing this? I'll keep saying that until there isn't anything left. Then I'll say the just suppose. Well, let's just suppose, let's say they give me 2 excuses that, they want to know more about the product and need to talk to their spouse. I would say, okay, well, let's just suppose, you do your research on the product and it is everything that we're talking about. And we sit down and chat with your spouse and she sees it. Okay, would you do it? Will you join us? Because I want to lock this thing down. I want to tie it down. If not, what happens is someone will say, I want more information on the product. We get more information on the product. Then they say, well, I want to learn more about the compensation plan. Then we do this and then we do that. And before you know it, a couple months have gone by and now they're not in the business and they just wasted all of your time. People don't mean to waste time. They really don't. They just have a hard time saying no. No one likes to say no. So rather than telling you no, they're going to string you out and then maybe not answer your phone call anymore or anything like that. Okay, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want that to happen to you. So if they're really not interested, I'm not going to make them feel bad. Okay, it takes a lifetime to create a friend and a minute to lose one. It's never worth it. This is just a business. There's a lot more to life. Absolutely. Friendship's more important. And so what I'm trying to do is I'm not trying to be overbearing or aggressive. I just want to know, what are we doing here? Where are we going? What's going to happen? Because if this is something you want to do, let's take action. If not, then let's get on the product. It'll change your life. And we'll take it from there. So those are some of the things that you want to do. But I assume that everybody just wants to join. So if I get done with a presentation or 2-on presentation, or I'm talking to somebody, I'm going to ask them if they have any other questions. If they have any other questions or concerns or anything, if they say no, then I assume that they're doing it. I say, okay, well, all we need to do then is I just need to get your information. We can either put it in online or we can fill out one of these things. We decide, do you want to start off on the, small business builder or a big business builder? We pick that. We put your game plan together. Let's go do this thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go start asking for information and putting them in the system. And the reason I like to do this is because if they don't have a concern, then in my opinion, who wouldn't want to do this? And then if they do have a concern, this is going to flush it out now, where they're going to say, well, wait, I still want to. So if they were holding something back, now I've gotten it out. So now I can't address something that's not there right in front of me. It's almost like, if I'm doing math and I have a teacher helping me, I want to ask that question while I'm in class, because when I'm home, I'm going to have a hard time trying to figure that out. I want the questions out right now where the teacher, where we can resolve those concerns, not after the fact. They're not going to be able to get the information they need. All right. So that's one of the reasons why I just assume it. I assume they're going to do it. Who wouldn't want to do it anyway? Everybody should want to be a part of RAIN. This thing is going to be huge, and it's already growing crazy. So just remember, the whole result is in the follow-up as well. So if they're not interested and they need to do this, and you've already said the just suppose statement, if you need to meet with their spouse, then set that up. If they need to know more information, give them some collateral material. Give them something else that you can do, so now you can follow up with them. But make sure that you're following up within the next 48 hours, okay? And even if they're not, if they just say, you know what, this isn't just for me right now, then what I do is I put people on a drip list. This is RAIN. We want to drip on them. We want to drip little raindrops on them. And every time something amazing happens, every time there's a new product announcement, every time there's a new tool or resource, it's pretty cool. Every time we go into a new market, you want to call these people. And you want to let them know what's going on. And we just drip on them. We just drip on them. And I'll call somebody and say, hey, I know you weren't interested in that RAIN thing that I was telling you about, but we're just getting ready to launch Japan. We're getting going in Japan right now. And so the reason I'm calling is I want to know, who do you know? Do you know anybody? Japan is an enormous market for this industry, let alone this new category creating product that we have. There's nothing like it in Japan. Who do you know that's entrepreneurial minded? Who do you know that would be interested in being some of the first people in Japan? And try to get referrals out of them. Because a lot of times, even if they know people, they're not going to want you to jump over them. They're going to say, well, now they're interested again. And so that's why I just drip on them, and I just drip on them, and I just drip on them. And finally, a lot of times, over time, they get in the business. A lot of people that told me no my first 90 days when I got into this industry were in my business by the end of the year, because I dripped on them. And not only that, because they'd see me in the store later, because I was committed. They've probably had somebody join a business like this before, contact them, tell them that they needed to do it or wanted them to join their business. And then they saw them 3 months later and they weren't doing it anymore. In their mind, they're like validating themselves. I'm glad I didn't join you and your team. And they're right, because that person wasn't committed. The longer you're in the business, the more success you have, the more committed you are, the more people see that this is what you do. This is who you are. You are RAIN. You are RAIN. The more people are going to want to join you. And it's pretty exciting, like I said. But you got to get that first couple months and get things under your belt, that first year under your belt as you're doing this. Put people on your drip list. Another thing that I always like to tell people is I say, I don't want to close any door. Like I said, I love people and I don't want to ruin relationships. And if anybody feels awkward when I see them, it's them, because either they didn't call me back like they should have, or they didn't do what they said they were going to do. It's not because I didn't do what I said I was going to do, or I got them to do this or got them to do that. But what I do to try to keep the door open always is I say, you know what, if the timing's off, I say, you know what, if this thing continues to move forward like we're thinking it's predicted to, is it all right if I tap you on the shoulder in a couple months and let you know how it's going? So now when you put this person on your drip list and you're contacting them back, what are they going to say first off when you answer that question? They're going to say, absolutely, call me back. I'd love to hear how it's going in a couple months. Let me know. I mean, they just told you no. So yeah, they're going to say, oh yeah, sure. So now when you call them back, you can say, without them saying, hey, I told you I wasn't interested in this thing and you're bugging me again about it. Instead of saying or thinking that, you can say, hey, I remember, talking to you, and you said to give you a call in a couple months to let you know how this thing is going. This thing is exploding. Okay. This product is helping so many people. I had no idea how powerful these seeds were. I had no idea how powerful this product was. Okay, this is amazing. Or whatever it is. And now you've got that door wide open. You never burnt that bridge. You never shut that door. You kept it open because you said, hey, if this thing continues to explode, is it all right if I call you in a couple months and let you know how it's going? All right. Now, really, the whole goal, like I said at the very beginning, I'm going to say and close at the end with, and that is, I like no's. I like yeses even better. But it's maybes that waste everybody's time. we don't have time to waste. And as you utilize the RAIN cycle, as you cut your learning curve down, because these are proven principles that can help you streamline your business, that help you teach and train your people, you're going to see your business grow at a faster pace. And you're going to see these proven principles work in your business as well. So the result is the key. Let's get people to make that decision. If not, everything we've done up to this point is really, we're not getting out of it what we could have if we don't really help people get to a point where they're either in or not, or they want to try the product or not. So let's go out, everybody. Let's take these principles. Let's use them ourselves. Let's teach them in our teams and in our organizations. And let's go out and share the power of seeds and the concept that we have and our mission with the world. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. This is Byron Belka. Let's go out and make it rain.